and to my Western audience about Russian news, about foreign news, totally crazy of course, about the Duterte. There was a Russian news article about the Philippines President Duterte, Duterte, I don't know how you call them in English, sorry for my pronunciation, that he's tired of executing drug dealers. For the 3.5 past years, under the Duterte's regime, about 6,000 people were executed for drug dealings and so on and so forth. Now, actually, the Russian press, it actually critiques the Duterte, whatever you call the just let's call it the Philippines president. I think it's gonna be much more easier for me than to just jungle around with his name and he would say, "You're burning my ears, man. Please don't burn my ears with that horrible, horrible Russian pronunciation of the name. You're massacring the name." Anywho, they're writing that executing people doesn't help. There was a whole debate actually in the comment section of the, there's an actual comment section on that Russian site where they said you should execute people, you shouldn't execute people. Actually executing people is not very effective for crime. Yeah, the crime rates go down, of course. But then you know what happens? Armed vigilantes start executing people they don't like. Policemen start executing people they don't like. My grandma starts executing people she don't like, and she doesn't like a lot of people, my grandma. I'm just joking, of course, about my grandma. Anywho, she's a World War II veteran, so that's a whole different story. So, executing people doesn't work in the, maybe in the local community it does work, but on the national level, there are a lot of corrupt people and opportunists who will use it for executing other people. You know, like my mother once said, you know, you can execute everyone. Then you won't have dealers and you won't have people who buy drugs because they're also dead. That's a great solution. Execute enough people and there will be no one to buy. Actually, it is true, but you see, people use executions for opportunistic reasons. You can also execute political opposition, business, so-called competitors. See, executions can get very fast out of hand once you know you start. They dealt drugs, they didn't deal drugs, they were executed for XYZ reasons. So yeah, executions is a very dangerous path to walk, and that's what was written in that Russian article. So many people in Russia, they remember Stalin's time. They say executions is the most effective thing ever to do. Of course, until they come. First they come for the real criminals. Yeah, they start executing real criminals. Then they come for political opposition. Then they come for your neighbor. Then they come for you, and then they take your dog also execute him. Why? Because the dog is also a cooperator with all of those narcotics dealings and so on and so forth. So once you start executing and repressions, you don't know when it ends. Like with censorship, by the way. You know where you start, you don't know where it ends. It's also a great saying in the Russian language. You know how to start a war, you don't know how to end a war. That's a real problem. So that's about all. Thank you for listening. You can write your opinions down here. Thank you very much. I was Roma Hatkin. Goodbye.